is Chris from Chris's Creations, and this is just going to be a simple tutorial on how to do non-ELS lighting for GTA 5, optimized for FiveM, or for FiveM uses. Of course, this is not going to be how to set up light bars, not how to do whole vehicles, not stuff like that. This is literally just going to show you how to do non-ELS lighting and how to set it up with its carcols and stuff like that. So the first thing you need to do is get your light bar, your vehicle, and stuff like that. I'm not mounting this or doing anything. I'm just leaving it here because this is just a tutorial. Now, before we do anything, we should know that the way that I will show you is not the way that is done universally. People, every other dev does their own thing. So from what I do, my friend might not do, which I know he does not do because we've critiqued each other before. But just note that if you see it here and it doesn't look like something you've seen before, that's why. It's just because every dev has learned differently, and they just go through from their own experiences and what works for them. So, and what I'm going to show you is what works for me. Now, this is not the best light bar to show a tutorial with because you have a clear top. Typically, your light bars are enclosed and stuff like that, but it works just the same. So, you have your light bar and stuff. Now, sometimes your lights will come, they'll come separated, so like, as you can see here, it's one whole hierarchy element. Sometimes they'll just come separated and stuff like that, so you can either just attach them together or leave them apart. If you leave them apart, you can skip this first part, but you're just going to have to go into this, when you go into the renaming and stuff, you're just going to have to attach things together, stuff like that. But I typically like to keep mine all together and just use it till then just separate from there. If your light bar also has LO emisses, you'd also want to use those when you're LOing it. I'm not doing that just so we can save time and I can make this video as short as possible. So the first thing that you're going to want to do before you even start touching the light bar is that you're going to want to go into wherever your files are. So what I do is that I have all of my files in its own separate folder. I don't have a main folder for anything like that. I don't like that. But you just go into somewhere where you know that that you can make a text document that has all your sirens and stuff on it. If you want to use a piece of paper, your notepad on your phone, anything like that. Anything where you can just label down what siren is what, and you know what vehicle it is for. So you just make a text document, name it whatever. I typically like just doing sirens. And then this is it. Now, with light bars, unless you're trying to go for a crazy, intricate pattern, you can usually just keep them 6 sirens, and that's enough. 6 sirens, and you'll have your entire light bar done. You can have a simple flash back and forth. If you want to have more intricate patterns, you can do, I don't know, like 12 sirens, stuff like that, but 6 is usually a good number if you just want to have a simple flash back and forth, and that's what I'll be showing you. So, just the way that I do it is that I always go from, so if we turn this off, I always go from left, so this way, come around, like this, and then I do the sides here. So you're going to see that. So siren 1 is going to be blue front, and now if you have other lights on here, it's good to label them down as light bar. I usually just do lib. Siren 2, red front, lib. I'm not going to worry about the takedowns. If you want those to flash, it's just the same way. Siren 3, it's going to be red back, lib. Siren 4, blue back, lib. Siren 5, red right, lib. Siren 6, blue left, lib. And now you've got your labeling down. This is just for future reference, so you know what is what. So if your light bar is attached together like this, you'll need to do this. If not, if it's all separated and stuff, either attach it together to have the patterns you want, or just start renaming stuff. But we're actually gonna get rid of these for right now. Just toss those real quick. There we go. So you're gonna select it, go into polygon. You click, select it, go up here, you're going to press detach polygons, you can click it once, all this stuff should gray out, and now this thing should be on its own. Now if you click it, as you can see, it separates. So you're just going to rename this to siren 1, or whatever siren that you have this specific part labeled as, and you're just going to go through and do that whole thing. I thought I deleted that. Just going to delete that real quick because I don't want that there. Okay. And then you just go through, Oh, not that. 7.2. Go to the back. 7.3. So 4, select. 5, and then we can rename this to 6. And now, once you have everything selected, what I like doing is that I like turning everything on, selecting all your stuff, so even your light bar stuff. Then you're gonna left click and drag, select it, go into display, reset to parent, click it once, and everything should reset. As you can see there, it resets to the center of the plane. Then you go to center to local axis, and press it, and you get everything here. Go into create, press copy, click on it once, and then you deselect. Just move these, or move your light bars, your actual light bar meshes and stuff into their own thing. And then actually don't do that. My apologies. Turn everything off. Select your copies. Select them like this. So you just click it. You hold down left shift, and you press wherever you want to go, and then it just highlights all of those. You right click, convert to dummy. And in most cases they're blue. I don't know why with the Impalas they're white for some reason. I don't know. And then you're gonna just drag these down like this. Turn these off, and then you're gonna reselect your sirens that are dummies. Select all of them. Left click and drag. Usually they turn pink, but in this, I don't know why these are white, but they should be selected, as you see by that. Go into properties. You're gonna see solid. Deselect it. Press apply. This just makes it easier to see. And so what you're gonna do is that you're gonna get your move tool. You're gonna make sure you're on your y-axis. So usually it's like that. You just deselect that, then select it. Turn back on your light bar, so you can use it as reference. And then you're gonna move your dummies into your light bar, however far it takes for it to be like where, when the emissive is being scaled down, it's hidden. So I usually do it about there with the specific justice bar. And then those are your sirens 1 and 2. And then for sirens 3 and 4, you're going to select it. You're going to press for rotate. You're going to turn on X, Y. You're going to turn off pivot down here. So pivot should not be this highlighted red. You're going to press it. Type in 180. So there's usually a 0 there, so you just need to type in 1 and 8. Then you can press OK. Press move. Turn off X-axis. And then scroll back in and then move it. Now with these, you don't have to keep them right here. So let's say you actually want this emissive for whatever reason to be producing from like over here. You can move it there, and that's fine. You don't need to keep them in the same place that they were centered to. You can always move them around. But for me, I just like keeping them in the same place. It's just easier. Same thing with these side ones here. You can move them around if you want to. I just like keeping them in the same place. And with these side ones, so the right side, so the driver's side, you're going to press it. So you don't always need to select like that. You can literally just press it, and then you just type in a dash, and then 9. That's -90, and this blue tail should be facing this way. And then for the passenger side, you're gonna press it. You're gonna press 9, and the blue tail should be facing this way. So these are how all your blue tails should be facing. And remember to do this from the top view. I apologize I didn't say that, but just remember to do this from the top view. If you do it from like the left view, it's gonna come out all wonky, and then you're gonna be wondering why your lights are acting up and stuff. So once you got all your lights like this, you can go and drag your sirens into their respective dummies. You're gonna go ahead and press hide all. You're gonna press on siren 1 or whatever siren it is, and then you're gonna press right arrow, and that opens all of them up like that. I'm going to turn all of these back on. Select them. Go into display. Reset to parent. Then when you press reset to parent, look what the tails on these meshes do. They change. They change their parent because the dummy is the parent. And so keep these selected. You can turn this off and go back into properties if you moved out of it. But if you're still here, you're going to see properties. Go to scale, and you're going to see XYZ and then 1.1.1 point. So with this, you can scale to different factors. It just has to be 100 times something. So Yeah. So I typically like scaling to 0.01, and then the carcols you'll set your scale factor to 100. You can do 0.1, and then you set your scale factor to 10 in your carcols, or you can do 0.25, which you can set your scale factor to 4 in your carcols. 0.01 is a good scale factor because it just makes them really small, and even in a clear top light bar like this, you're not going to be able to see these unless you have a really weird graphics pack that just highlights every single emissive no matter how small it is. So what you're going to do is that you're just going to select it, you're just going to double click on it like that, and then you're going to type 0.01, and then you're just going to do that for all of them, 0.01, 0.01. And once you're done, click, and then press apply, and you see how these go down. Now, if you had LOs, you'd select, if you had emissive LOs, you just do all the steps before, and make sure that you also scale them down as well, and then you just go into LOD them. So LODing, just simply enough, is that you have your dummies, click on the first one, so in this case it's this one, as you can see, oh. So as you can see, it's a dummy. So what you're going to do is that you're just going to click it, take off LO, you're going to press convert to compound, you're going to lock it, you're going to press LO again, and then drag how many ever stuff you have in there. So if you have, let's say you have 3 things in here, you drag your first one in, you press LO, you drag your next one in, press L2, drag your next one in. I don't have that just because I'm trying to save a bit of time here. So you're just going to go down and you're going to do that for all of them, making sure that you're LOing properly. Sometimes you might drag stuff a bit weird and it acts up, so if that is the case, you can just press undo and it should just undo whatever you just did. Now, once you get done LOing, a problem that I sometimes face is for whatever reason when you scale down and LO the lights, some lights may flip, they may invert the mesh. So I'm going to show that here in a second, but I don't really know what causes it, so I typically do this once I've got everything done with the light bar. So if you need to do extra lights, do your takedown, stuff like that, do that first, and then move all your stuff in. So the best way to do it is just click it like that, drag it into your light bar, drag your light bar glass in last, and then that's a nice little hierarchy there. And then you're just going to put it into your vehicle's hierarchy, typically at the top. And what you do to just make sure that none of your meshes are flipped, turn them all on, go into user mode, and then typically the ones for me that are flipped are typically these are the corner lights. And so the best way to see is that sometimes the muller freezes like that for some reason. So as you can see, I can see these blue lights and I should not be able to see them. I should be able to see these red lights and I cannot see them. So what you do is that you'll just select them, go into modify, press flip, and as you can see I can't see the blue lights anymore, and now I can see the red lights. Once you've done this, you're going to go into surface, recalculate normals, then just click, and then sometimes it might like go from really foggy to really clear, or sometimes it might just be something like that. And then you can just check that for the rest of them. So these ones appear fine. You can actually check these from the proper angle. Yeah, those ones are fine. So sometimes when you rotate your light bar and stuff downwards to fit it onto a vehicle, the lights might flip. Just do that and then go through your LOs and make sure you unflip them. Anyhow, once you got it like this, basically done. In ZModeler, you just need to do a few more things. So go into your material browser. Let me bring it down here. This is your material browser. Scroll down, find your light bar materials. Then you have your emissive. This one you're just going to move to the top. So make sure it's always, if there's a default material, just make sure it's always behind the default material, and it's just at the top. Sometimes the creator of the model does a numbered materials, and if it merges in and it's out of order, just re-put it back into the order, because then it'll look good. 5. And I'll actually move this back over here. Okay. Alright, so once you got that done, that's basically it. If you have other lights to do your other lights, or if you want to go test it in game, you can go test it in game, but you just need to export it. That's the right one, that's the right one. Non-ELS. Now I'm going to show y'all how to do the carcol stuff. So carcols are honestly quite easy as long as you understand them. So what I recommend doing is, again, just putting this into your data folder with your carcols and stuff. So this is just siren information. So these are your delta values, these are colors and stuff like this. And then you might be wondering why there's a bunch of X's up here. So there's 32 X's, and this represents the... Let me just show you before I try explaining it. So what you want to do is just copy down the amount of sirens you have. So siren 1, siren 2, siren 3, siren 4, siren 5, siren 6. Like that. So how non-ELS patterns are done, they're done with sequencers. And sequencers are done with binary code. And GTA recognizes 32 integers of binary code converted as its thing. I don't really know how it works. I'll just show you. So essentially what you want to do is just ones and zeros. So ones and zeros 32 times. So I'm going to do something just a bit weird so you can just see it. So we'll do 4 4 4 4, or that's not 5, 4 4 4 4, and then for the next one just something really basic for now, just so you can see how these work. And so you're going to want to try to find a website. I'll link this down below. Binary to decimal converter. This is something you're going to need. So what you're going to do is that once you got your sequencers like this, copy one, and then you're going to paste it into here, convert, copy this number, the decimal number, and then what I typically like doing is I just like putting it right next to it, and then just do the same thing for how many else you have. Now I'm doing it like this because these are all going to be the same, so I just don't want to put it like several times. So we're just going to copy it like this. This one. And boom, you got your sequencers, you got your pattern done. So go into your carcols. Alright, so ID value, this needs to match your car variations like this. So as you can see, this number matches this number. Name does not matter. Sequencer BPM does matter. This is just how fast your lights will flash, essentially. 1200 is very fast, so for this one I'm just going to slow it down to 650. Anywhere between like 600 and 900 are good for most patterns. Rotators are typically very less. More modern patterns are typically much more faster, but 650 to 900 or 600 to 900 is a good range. These you don't really have to matter. These just make the actual coronas from your taillights and headlights flash. Doesn't really matter. Kind of broken, honestly. So you should see the siren 1, siren 2, siren 3, so on and so forth. With typical carcols, you'll have 20 of these. Using the siren ASI, that gives you 32. There will be 32 of these, but I'm not going to show you how to do that because it's just the same way. So what you'll do, so the only things that you need to focus on here is this section. You need to focus on the flashiness section and then the stuff below it. So delta value. This essentially tells the game which way does the light have to be emitted. So if you remember correctly, siren 1 has to be emitted to the front. So we look at our delta values and we see front. This is the front delta value. So you'll copy this, you'll paste it in, and you can also do this here. This one's already that, so that's fine. So next thing you'll do is that you'll grab, we'll do this. Next thing you have to do is go down to your sequencer, and you just copy it, and you paste it. Next, you don't really have to worry about anything else. Make sure this is set to true unless you don't want it to be. The next thing you need to worry about is color. As you can see, this doesn't make any sense. Using this, we can see that this is a blue color, so that's fine. That doesn't need to be changed. And then this, you also have to worry about scale factor. Now, sometimes, let's say you're using this a preset one, it might be set to 1, might be set to 4, might be set to 10, might be set to 1000 for whatever reason. Since we did it to 0.01, and if you're following along, like how I'm doing it, you just need to set it to 100. Go down, siren 2, sequencer, set it. That is not blue, so we just select it to red, which is this one right here. Then we just put it in like that. Siren 3. So as we know, siren 3 is to the back. So we look at our delta values, and this one is the one to the back. copy it and then paste it in, and do the same thing for this one. And then we go through sequencer, select, or copy paste. This needs to be red, so we make this red. We copy paste it, copy paste. This needs to be blue, so we'll make it blue. So now sometimes the left and right ones get iffy with what direction it actually needs to be. So typically for me, what I've seen is that even though this is right, I'm going to use the left delta value, and then when we'll get in game, we'll see if it's actually correct, and if it's not, we just need to switch it around. It's just sometimes with custom delta values and stuff like that, they just get a bit iffy on the rotations and stuff. So it's nothing major, it's really quick fixes, but it's just something to look out for, and it's not something you should be concerned about if you see it. And then we switch this color. So that's simply how to do carcols. Once you got that, once you go through, you do that for all your lights and stuff, that's it. You just need to go in the game and test it. I already have my server up, so we're just gonna there we go. So while this is loading, I'll say this. Everything that you like, the carcols, the actual carcols.meta file, and then the like delta values and all the colors and stuff, I'll put those in the resources channel in my Discord. You can join my Discord, get those, and then leave. I do not care. I'm not going to hold you hostage. There is no obligation to stay. If you need them, you can join, get them, and go. I don't really care if you stay or not. Anyhow, since we're in game, we're just going to have a quick look at this. So vehicle spawner, Non-ELS. As we see, we have our light. So, as you can see, so I'm going to go into here actually. So, even though they're scaled down, we can't see them because they're scaled down so small. Or you can actually see that one right there. But it's scaled down so small that you can't really even see it. So if you turn them on, as you can see, there we go. We have our lights; they're working. As you can see, we set them to go back and forth very slowly. That's what that 650 sequencer BPM, and that's what doing the sequencer like that does. So if you want it to be more quicker, you can do just 01010101, stuff like that. You can just experiment with it. I recommend that you do so, figure out what works for you. You'll find that you like using specific sequencer settings more than other ones, like because there's definitely sequencers that I like using more than others. So if we go into world options and we set it to night, as you can see, everything is flashing as it should. You got the blue on the blue side, the red on the red side. It's flashing backwards, flashing to the right, flashing forwards, and everything like that. So, any questions related to non-ELS? Non-ELS lighting only. Please, I will not answer any other questions on this video not related to non-ELS lighting. But any questions related to non-ELS lighting, you can ask them in the comments. I would recommend that you join my Discord and just ask in the general chat, so we can get back to you quicker. But if you don't want to, that's fine. You can just ask them in the comments, and I'll hopefully, or someone will hopefully get back to you sometime quickly. Other than that, you guys have a good day.